With indoor cycling season fast approaching in the Northern Hemisphere, there's a lot of queries coming through online about which smart trainer to buy, either from people looking at buying their first trainer or those looking to upgrade their existing smart trainer. Now, after many years of very minor updates and revisions to smart trainers, in recent times there's been a few new features added to smart trainers worth knowing about if you're looking at what's on the market today. In this video, I'll be discussing direct drive interactive smart trainers only, where you remove your rear wheel from the bike and install your bike on the trainers. Smart bikes and other things may be a discussion for another day. Just over 10 years ago, the original Kickr was launched. It was a true game changer for indoor cycling. Sure, it wasn't a unique idea to have an interactive indoor smart trainer. CompuTrainer had been around for a very long time before the Kickr came along, but the Kickr was a real turning point. And it was effectively used as a blueprint for a lot of other companies who quickly set about making their own Kickr. Maybe not exactly the same design, but with the same end result. The Tacx Neo from 2015, the Cyclops Hammer 2016, and the Elite Drivo from 2016, which I believe was Elite's first interactive direct drive smart trainer. Now these are what I would class as Generation 1 smart trainers. So it's with that classification I'll pull up my first list here today, which is what I would consider Generation 1 indoor interactive direct drive smart trainers, all based pretty much off the original specification of the Kickr back in 2012, 13, or whenever that was released. So that was the baseline, ANT+, single Bluetooth connection, manual calibration, so you needed to perform a spin down every few weeks or so to keep the power numbers in line, accuracy plus or minus 2% or so, quick release and through-axle support. However, through-axle was sometimes supported with an aftermarket purchase with an adapter, very clunky, and the power transmission was at 1 or 4 Hz. Now there are some give or take with that specification list that I've come up with there. They're not set in stone. For example, the Tacx Neo original didn't require calibration. But that's pretty much what I would call Generation 1 trainers. And 10 years on from the Kickr 1, there are a lot of trainers that simply match those specifications. Now on to what's new and interesting, and what I'm calling Generation 2 of direct drive interactive smart trainers. Pulling up my list here. Now this has been a very, very long time coming. Likely because Generation 1 trainers still provide a pretty good experience when pushing on the pedals. So my Gen 2 list kicks off with ANT+, as standard, that's multi-connection as it is. Bluetooth with multi-connection, so you can have multiple Bluetooth peripherals connected to the trainer. Now, not a lot of people do that, but it is a feature that is nice to have. Wi-Fi, definitely what I would consider a Generation 2 standard. Some trainers still have the Ethernet connection, but a lot now have the Wi-Fi chip on board and support the new de facto standard Direct Connect from Wahoo. Generation 2 comes with auto calibration, no requirement to do spin downs, accuracy less than 2%, so you can be pretty assured of that power number being correct. Quick release and native through-axle support. Out of the box, no need for an aftermarket purchase, typically supporting 142 and 148 standards, with enough clearance on the trainer for all bikes. Now, some original trainers didn't have enough brake clearance for some bikes, resulting in some incompatibilities with, I think it was Cervelo bikes on some earlier Wahoo trainers. They've since produced new adapters, making compatibility fine, but again, that problem is just not happening on what I'd call Generation 2 trainers. 10 Hz power data transmission in sim mode. Erg mode can still be 1 Hz, but race mode is a bit of a game changer when it comes to responsiveness. I've done a whole lot of video on that, I'll link in the video description below. And sensor bridging, making a smart trainer even smarter. I believe first seen on the Jet Black Vault, taking your heart rate connection, pairing it to the trainer, and then when the trainer connected to your software, there was only one connection needed, simplifying a lot of things. Now examples of Generation 2 interactive direct drive smart trainers would be the Kickr 5, Kickr 6, Elite Justo, Zwift Hub, Jet Black Vault V2, True Connect's True Trainer, again with some give or take, not supporting every one of those things, but most Gen 2 trainers getting very close to that either now or in the very near future with firmware updates. Now, Gen 1 versus Gen 2, it's not really clear cut on what you're purchasing. If you go to the higher end, you're not guaranteed to get a Gen 2 trainer. There are a few companies out there still dragging their heels in releasing new models. On the flip side, if you go very, very cheap, you're not guaranteed just a Gen 1 trainer, with both the Zwift Hub and Jet Black Vault V2 supporting most of those standards that I've listed under my Gen 2 categorization. So they're the things to look for Generation 2 trainers if you're in the market for a new trainer or an upgrade, but there's also some other features or enhancements that companies are adding that haven't quite made it to my standards list just yet. Those being built-in movement, such as the Kickr Axis feet or the Kickr Move that goes back and forward, and even the Tacx Neo rail system. Now they're movement solutions coming directly from the manufacturer. There are also a number of other third-party solutions to get a trainer moving around, but those are the ones that are coming direct from the manufacturer. Shipping with a pre-selected cassette, I think, is almost a must-have these days. With all the different standards out there, 9, 10, 11, 12, or even back to the 1 cog on the new Zwift 1 hub cog thing they call it. Not everybody is on 11-speed Shimano, so being able to select your cassette on checkout is definitely a good thing, and I think all other trainer manufacturers should follow suit. Virtual shifting, something we've seen in recent weeks with the Zwift Hub 1, using the cog and the clicks or the Zwift Play devices to change gears. That's also very cool, and something I expect to be adopted from other trainer manufacturers soon. Zwift have said they are working with other manufacturers on this. They're open to do that, so stay tuned on that one. Lifetime odometer is another feature I'd like to see added to more trainers. I believe the Whoo trainers, or newer Whoo trainers and Whoo bikes have this. So if you're buying a trainer secondhand, you can simply open up the app, see how much usage it's really had. And lastly on my list, a trainer handle for easy setup and moving around of the trainer. These things aren't light, and some are really clumsy to pick up, and you catch your hand in them, and the cassettes, it's just horrible. So having a way to move these trainers around is definitely a value add, missing on a number of trainers. Now I think out of all these enhancements we've seen in the last few years, Wi-Fi and Direct Connect are the biggest ones for me. It removes so much friction in setup, not having to set up an Ant Plus or an Ant Plus stick and Bluetooth and a Windows update, blatting the Bluetooth configuration, having connectivity issues. When a trainer has Wi-Fi Direct and supports Direct Connect, you simply turn the trainer on, connect the app, hook it up to your Wi-Fi, and on all supported software, which is pretty much everything these days supporting Dircon, it just works. There's no messing around. So for me, Dircon and Wi-Fi are the biggest advancements we've seen in Gen 2 trainers. On to what I think's missing from these trainers, or an enhancement that I think's worth companies investigating, and that is the ability to handle low flywheel speeds and high torque. Generation 1 trainers were from the time where we all had 5339 road bikes on our indoor trainers and not a very wide range of gears. Now with SRAM group sets, gravel bikes, mountain bikes, we've got a massively wide range of gears to choose from, and we are using those bikes indoors. A lot of trainers just simply can't handle that low flywheel speed and high torque pedaling that we're doing on these trainers. They sort of slip out, and it's just a what I would call uniform pedaling experience. Those playing the long game would remember the Tacx Neo 1 and Neo 2 virtual tire slip. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And if you've ever put a mountain bike on a smart trainer, almost any smart trainer, and gone to the easiest of easy gears up a very steep climb, it becomes very unrealistic. Quite a difficult one to solve given the physics behind it all, but definitely one that does need attention. Now we're all using bikes with a wider range of gears. So what do I think is coming next in the world of indoor smart trainers? Well, to be honest, not much, I don't think. I think we'll see a few years of flatlining as companies bring their current range up to Generation 2 standards, adding Wi-Fi, Direct Connect, maybe a little bit better accuracy, maybe being able to pre-select a cassette, but I think that's all we'll see for a few years to come. Do I think we'll see any new companies entering the smart trainer market in the next few years? Probably not. If the COVID trajectory was still there, maybe we would, but cycling at the moment is probably not heading in the right direction. We've seen Whoo recently need to re-steer the ship. We've seen Saris do, well, I'm not quite sure what Saris are up to. The H4 has pretty much disappeared. And Tacx/Garmin are, well, missing in action at the moment for the long-awaited Tacx Neo 3. So I think what we'll see is pretty much what we've got with a number of refinements across the board. All right, that's an overview of what you need to know if you're looking at a new indoor smart trainer and a few of the new recent enhancements to the experience indoors. As always, if you found this informative, give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe to be across more videos on this channel, and thanks for watching.